News when you want it with Bloomberg News Now. I'm Erica Herskowitz. A drop in chipmakers ahead of Micron Technology's earnings weighed on stocks today, with the results expected to provide clues on whether this year's artificial intelligence surge will be justified. The Dow closed ahead 184 points, up 1/3%, but the Nasdaq fell 110, down nearly 0.5%. The S&P closed a fraction lower. The 10-year Treasury yield at 4.40%, the 2-year Treasury yield at 4.14%. After the bell, Micron reported adjusted gross margin for the third quarter that beat the average analyst estimate. The results are considered one of the most important in months as investors find themselves suddenly on edge over the sustainability of the AI rally. President Trump nixed today's plan to sign a bipartisan bill aimed at lowering housing costs, escalating his feud with Republicans in the Senate. Trump's decision spoils an opportunity for lawmakers in both parties and the president himself to tout progress toward addressing voters' affordability concerns ahead of the November midterm elections. Bloomberg deputy congressional editor Mike Dorning was a guest on Bloomberg's Balance of Power.
These signing ceremonies are a chance for them all to pat themselves on the back, and this was something that the Republican leaders had been hoping to show, like, we're doing something related to Americans' affordability concerns heading into the election. And then not only is he not going to sign it, but he's disparaging it online as sort of puny.
Bloomberg's Mike Dorning on Bloomberg's Balance of Power. The president said he wouldn't sign the bill until Congress approves voting restrictions that previously failed to pass the Senate. The Save America Act would require photo IDs and proof of U.S. citizenship in elections across the country. House Speaker Mike Johnson.
He and I have talked about this a lot. He has expressed the priority and the preference of the Save America Act. We share that. We passed it 3 times in the House. The latest version was passed a few months ago, and it has proof of citizenship to register to vote, and the proof of showing a photo ID when you show up to vote. Basic issues that 90% of Americans agree. 70% of Democrats think you ought to have a photo ID to vote. And citizenship to vote in an American election is already in the law. But we have to enforce it because you got a few blue states that don't do that.
House Speaker Mike Johnson. Anthropic is accusing Alibaba of waging a large-scale effort to illicitly access its Claude artificial intelligence model using thousands of fraudulent accounts. According to a document seen by Bloomberg News, the effort involved 28.8 million exchanges with Claude between April and June through almost 25,000 fraudulent accounts. Anthropic warns that Alibaba and other Chinese labs are making systematic and unauthorized use of results from leading U.S. models to develop a rival generation of chatbots at a fraction of the cost via a practice known as adversarial distillation. Former New York Mayor Eric Adams' ex-chief of staff has been arrested in an alleged bribery scheme. Bloomberg News has learned Frank Carone, his brother, and 2 others are facing federal charges in an investigation focused on Carone's business dealings and his time in City Hall. The Democratic power broker has called corruption allegations against him baseless. The New York Times is reporting federal agents and NYPD investigators searched the home of several police officials this morning as part of a corruption investigation into former Chief Jeffrey Madry. The report says this is unrelated to Carone's arrest. Tesla is being sued by the family of a 76-year-old woman who was killed after a Model 3 sedan allegedly using driver assistance software slammed into her home near Houston. The lawsuit claims Tesla's automated technology failed to detect the end of the roadway and stop before slamming into a brick house. The U.S. National Highway Traffic Safety Administration announced a special crash investigation into the incident. Tesla has faced more than a dozen lawsuits that blame defective technology for fatal crashes. Sales of new homes in the U.S. fell in May to the lowest level since the start of the year as heavy discounts failed to offset high mortgage rates. The median sales price edged higher to $424,900. Little changed from a year earlier as builders have focused on smaller homes and cut prices to improve affordability. That's news when you want it with Bloomberg News Now. I'm Erica Herskowitz, and this is Bloomberg.